Alright, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another freaking video. Y'all already know what time it is. I know how we finna get down. We ain't not finna play no games. Finna hopping straight into the reaction video. Andrew Tate before they were famous, controversial life, a former kickboxer. I do know a lot about Andrew Tate past. A lot of people know a lot about Andrew Tate past, but it's probably some stuff I don't know. So let's see what this video talking about. Before we even get started, y'all already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, man.
Now, if you've spent any time on the internet over the past few months, then odds are you might have come across a series of videos of a good-looking dude driving in supercars and climbing out of some exclusive private jets. Okay, no, I'm not talking about Dan Bilzerian, although in a lot of ways, well, this guy isn't too far off the mark on that. Now, I'm talking about former professional kickboxer Andrew Tate, sometimes known as Cobra Tate. Now, this British-American former world champion, he fought both in the cruiserweight and the super cruiserweight divisions. Although it must be said that he's definitely earned himself more notoriety since retiring from the sport. Now, just how weird does this dude's life story get? Well, let me start with this. Have you ever met someone who claims to have spent centuries living in the middle of Wudon Mountains? I think not. Yeah, strap yourself in, folks, because this is the latest episode before they were famous, and things are about to get really weird. Emery Andrew Tate was born on December 1st, 1986 in the city of Washington, D.C. Now, he was born to his father, Emery A. Tate Jr., a former athlete and wrestling advocate who developed combat skills at an early age. That's before joining the military and becoming an accomplished chess player, going on to win the U.S. Armed Forces Championship a total of 3 times. Now, Andrew's grandfather was also something of a combat expert who
his dad and his grandfather
who says distinguished himself in hand-to-hand bare-knuckle fistfights in and around the state of Georgia during World War II. In other words, well, Andrew, he comes by his combat expertise pretty naturally. And thanks to his dad's mastery of the game of chess, well, he also considers himself to be something of a tactician. Now, in fact, at the age of just 6 years old, well, Andrew was already practicing the skills that were being passed down to him when he took on other chess players who were nearly double his own age.
That nigga 1v3 niggas doubled his age.
Now, before I carry on any further with more details about Andrew's childhood, well, I want to make something crystal clear from this point forward. Now, a majority of what you're going to hear, it's come straight from Andrew during an op-ed that he wrote for a former kickboxing equipment sponsor known as Kickboxer. Now, I point this out because, as you'll no doubt be able to tell in just a few moments, a lot of what I'm going to tell you, well, it's going to sound pretty unbelievable, especially towards the end. So, you know, you've been warned. Andrew's legend begins with the story of his birth. Now, according to himself, he was born 2 weeks overdue, and he came out of the womb already breathing through his nose.
He looked like that nigga ugly.
Now, he points this out in his story as if it's some kind of like something that he's proud about, but a quick Google search, it'll tell you that most babies, they're born breathing through their nose, and it's not until they're about 3 or 4 months old that they begin to use their mouth. So I don't know what the big deal is about. Now, when the doctor who delivered him pinched his thigh to get a response, well, he was shocked when Tate, he didn't cry. Rather, the newborn infant simply craned his neck upwards with a stern look on his face to get a better...
Bro, the amount of research this nigga did, even about the nurse and how he was born, bro. So when he came out the womb, he didn't even cry. That gotta be exaggerated. That gotta be cap, bro. So you telling me the nurse that delivered him wrote all of this shit down and just put it on the media and he just found it? If he came out the womb not crying.
Look at his attacker. The kid must have had some stage presence from the get-go. Now, as a child, Tate says that he never cried for attention. Instead, he used grunts to indicate that he was hungry and get what he wanted. Now, most nights he slept on his father's massive chest instead of being tucked away in his crib. Soon after he was able to walk, well, Tate was taught how to defend himself. Now, he started by learning how to keep his balance. His father would make a game out of it by gradually pushing Tate a little harder.
That is sister beautiful too. She just got a fat ass nose.
Each day until the final time when he pushed him so hard that Tate, he flew across the room and came within an inch of splitting the back of his head open. That's from like the far wall. But all that training, it had paid off because Tate, he was able to catch him.
Look at Tristan over there. Look at him. Look at him.
At the age of only 4, well, Tate, he joined the country wrestling championship for kindergartners, and well, he wound up taking 2nd place. Now, to this day, well, Tate believes he would have taken home 1st place if only his dad had been there to coach him from the sidelines. But unfortunately, well, his dad had to work that day. Now, after Tate's father's military career had come to an end, well, he had to take on a series of minimum wage jobs to keep his family fed. Now, eventually, however, things became so bad that the family, they couldn't keep up with the bills.
How you can be a full-grown man and not be a millionaire? It's amazing to me how little work the majority of people out here are doing. Like, you're a full-grown man living in a transitionary period of humanity where the entire financial system is broken. Trillions of dollars are created from the sky. And you don't have a single million? You don't have...
All right, I'm not a grown man yet, but I ain't got no excuses, bro. I take full accountability. I'm working on it. I'm gonna work harder. Damn it.
One? They're everywhere. Like, how you can be a full-grown man and not be a millionaire? Are you dumb?
Around the age of 10, well, Tate's mother, she packed up their stuff, taking he and his siblings back home to England. Now, at this point, without his father around, well, Tate, he was the man of the house. Now, as soon as he was old enough to work in the UK, well, he got a job moving 80-pound boxes of frozen fish into nearby markets at 5 a.m. in the morning. Now, after...
Y'all think that's worse than my job? I work at a nursing home, and I wash their clothes and deliver it. And yes, they paying for itself. Is trading fish boxes.
That he'd have a full day of school. Then on weekends, he'd be back at the market perfecting his blade skills by filleting fish. Now, living in the town of Luton, well, Tate says that he and his siblings...
That boy said Luton. Luton.
They were teased mercilessly by the local kids because of their American accents. Now, eventually, however, Tate's mom, she would enroll her children in a self-defense course just so that the boys and the girls could grow stronger. I don't know if he's got sisters. I just said boys, and then I'm like, well, maybe he does, so let's just say the kids. The kids need to get tougher. With the help of this technician, well, Tate would master the art of kickboxing and create his own style. One that he, let me try and get this correctly. He calls Tate Shinaki. Tate Shinaki, there it is. I honestly don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I don't know a lot about combat sports, but yeah, I guess he came up with his own style. And apparently it rates pretty highly. After mastering Tate Shinaki, well, Tate would then retreat to the magical land of the Wudong Mountains, the mountainous range in the northwestern part of Hubei, China, an area of the world.
Introducing Wells Fargo Premier, banking, lending, and investing designed around you.
Not designed around you. I don't need no GoPro either. Thank you, though.
World with deep ties to ancient martial arts. Remember that first Batman movie with Christian Bale, where he was like, you know, hanging out with what was the guy, a la Ghul? Kind of like that. Now, I mean, heading all the way out there to China seems a little out of the way, but this man is very dedicated. Now, it's here where things got really weird. Now, Tate would go on to state that he spent centuries living in this area of the world and learning the forbidden arts. Yeah, that's a statement that requires some pretty big air quotes. Because how old is he? I mean, he's my age. After living longer than any other human on the history of the planet, short or fictional characters like Dorian Gray, well, Tate would return to England where he would begin his professional kickboxing career in earnest. Now, in April of 2009, he beat Paul Randall for the International Sport Karate Association English Light Cruiserweight title. Now, it was the first belt he'd ever win, but not his last.
Hey, my fault, I'm not really reacting. It's interesting. I'm trying to see.
And he also scored the British Cruiserweight title that same year when he beat Daniel Hughes with a first-round KO. In December of 2012, he'd participate in Infusion 3, Trial of the Gladiators, to determine the world's #1 kickboxer in his weight class. Now, he'd make it all the way to the finals, but he lost in the first round after taking a flying knee to the chin. Now, a few years later, well, Tate, he would take on kickboxing veteran Wendell Roche in June of 2014. Now, Roche had only lost by TKO once in his career to this point in time, but Tate, he would hand him his second defeat on the path to earning the Infusion 90-kilogram world champion title. 2 years later, in December of 2016, well, Tate, he would lose his championship with a first-round KO. It would be his last match until 4 years later, when in 2020, well, he'd return to participate in KO Masters 7, where he'd win his final fight to date. Shortly after claiming that victory, well, Tate would challenge Jake Paul to a boxing match. By the way, Tate's still awaiting an answer on that challenge.
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living out with you.
Now, if you're waiting to see if this fight's actually going to happen, well, there's been no word back yet from Jake Paul.
They ducking the smoke, basically, bro. Because he said he don't want to give him a platform. Logan Paul, how you going to try to give... How you going to say you don't want to give Andrew Tate the platform when he the #1 search man in the world right now? What?
He's been busy picking fights with people his own size, or whatever the hell this was. Now, of course, it's really been outside of the professional sports circuit that Tate has really begun ruffling a few feathers. But to be fair, not all of us are kickboxing fans, which means the first time that Tate really began to build some notoriety for himself as a celebrity was when he was selected to appear on Big Brother UK back in 2016. That show will take anyone, eh? I mean, they even had Trisha Paytas.
I'm Andrew Tate, I'm 29 years old, and I'm a 4-time kickboxing world champion. I see myself as
That nigga talk like a poem.
far average. I was a chess champion from a very young age, from the age of 3.
Else.
My biggest tool is that I'm not afraid of anything.
Now, being the son of a master
tool, I'm
chess
not afraid.
strategist, well, Tate, he immediately got to work trying to outthink his competition. Now, unfortunately, a little personal scandal would wind up getting in his way when British newspaper The Sun, well, they would receive video evidence of Tate allegedly hitting a girl with a belt. Tate was immediately removed from Big Brother, and he was let go from the series. Now, he'd later take to Twitter to let everyone know that the video clip was a consensual act between he and his girlfriend, and that the belt they had used was actually made of felt. So it was more of a private video, I guess.
Yeah, they tried to make it seem like Tate be abusing women, bro. If his girlfriend liked being hit with a belt, why the fuck that's on them? That's their business.
Still,
and she told him that he hit like a pussy, and it wasn't even much a real belt. It was fabric.
The Sun, man, they'll cut your head off.
Straight in the bin. Straight in the bin. Get him in the bin. Get him in the bin.
Now, you'd love to be able to take him at word for something like that, but unfortunately, well, only a few months later, in the midst of the Harvey Weinstein scandal, well, he'd begin tweeting things like this. Women have been exchanging sex for opportunity for a very long time. Some did this, weren't abused. Honestly, there were a lot more tweets where that one came from. But man, with that whole Me Too scandal, it's best for guys like Tate to sit on the bleachers. You know what I mean? Sit this one out. Eventually, Tate's Twitter profile would be taken down, and while
that's facts though. Women definitely look at sex like it's not an equal, exchange. Like they both not feeling good. Like females look at sex like.
Tried to get it restarted a few times. Well, he mostly just regulates himself to Instagram and YouTube, where you can find endless amounts of him promoting his lifestyle. Now, this content, it falls under Tate's new corporate umbrella of Cobra Tate, a website where users can go and engage in the greatest global network which exists on the planet Earth. And, well, it helps people get rich. His words, definitely not mine. Now, I'm actually starting a similar thing, not that I'm telling Scratch. Just gonna now, you know, I feel like he's a breath of fresh air. He's an entertaining character. I'm excited to see where he ends up and what he's gonna do with all this notoriety.
What you mean? He already just fucking took over the damn whole. This nigga took over TikTok without even having an account. Took over YouTube without even having an account, bro. He already took over most of the apps, bro. He got banned from all of them. Came right back. The nigga can't be stopped, bro. I don't know what else you want him to do. The nigga's a multi-millionaire, bro. #1 search man in the freaking world and shit. Y'all can say I'm on his dick. Y'all weird as shit, but I'm just stating the facts, bro.
But at the end of the day, you know, you get yourself in trouble.
One nigga, why he dick riding?
People are gonna find that stuff, but I guess that's part of his journey. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think.
Alright, that's the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, bro. I thought they was gonna, like, he didn't do enough research. Like, he should have added the little reality show and all that up in there. I was entertained, though, too. Hold on, let me show. Okay, I liked this video. Yeah, but I'll see you on the next video. Make sure y'all keep grinding, keep striving to be great, bro. Y'all know I upload every single day on this channel. And I upload every single day on this channel. I would recommend y'all sub to both of them, because they both lit. And yeah, that's it, bro. See y'all when I see y'all.